Hello YouTube and welcome back to more Captain of Industry, and hello Twitch as well. Hello there. Hello there. So, last time we got our waste sorting plant up and running and started to actually make use of the recyclables. Not only from the maintenance depot, but also we took away the recyclables from research. If you want to say hi to YouTube, now is your chance, Nico. We also got the copper rebuilt. So we have the copper over here as well. The next thing we needed to do was additionally set up electronic production over here so that we didn't have to import it all the way from over here, but that will require setting up rubber as well, which is easy enough to do. I do need to work out how many electronics producers I need to be able to maintain this, and it looks like we may be able to get away with just one level 2. One assembly 2. Because we don't have the materials to build an assembly. 3. Oh, the whole game is paused at the minute. I was pausing and unpausing so that we weren't utilizing the full 32 workers and the 26 maintenance at all times, because we don't have enough to keep it running constantly. So that's why I was letting this buffer build up and kind of build up and reduce as we use them. Yes, recyclables if you wish. Yes. So yeah, we can either go with one assembly 2 and then upgrade it in a bit to the assembly 3, because one stage 2 will be enough electronics to make the maintenance, but it will mean that we can't make electronics for anything else. Whereas if we just go straight for the assembly 3, we can prioritize it going to the maintenance, and then any additional can go to making whatever else, like lab equipment or construction parts too. Which, now that I think about it, we'd only have 24, so we'd not be able to make construction parts too particularly rapidly. Let's think. If iron is the problem, right, we're going to be making it with the iron method, I believe. Rather than steel, because it actually reduces the amount of iron we use, although we are now recycling iron. So, ooh, actually, does it work with steel? Actually don't know. What am I on about? We're not recycling. We're not recycling construction parts, are we? Anyway, let's re-enable the world, turn it back on. Let's see, where were we doing dumping designations? So we were doing that, we were building up around here so we could expand some more. And you've run out of places to put the dirt, so we did need this to occur. So we're going to keep this this horizontal one as like a line at the front. We're not going to fill in any further this way. We're going to use it as a way of expanding to the right, to the left rather. Yeah. Ooh, thinking about it, we do need to get across to that iron that is all the way over here. Because while we've still got a fair amount left here, we have kind of eaten through it fairly quickly. So we do want to be on our, at least on our way to the other one, so that we don't run out. So I'm going to let this complete over here. And then we're going to focus on completing this run around, and then we'll let it do this up here, which needs to be a leveling designation. But we don't want to be going from this side, because then it'll go all the way around to get to it. We want to fill from that side and then, yeah, let it go. Oh, that's right, we're also almost done with cleaning this up. Oh, to be honest, I didn't quite expect it to still almost cause a collapse of the farm. I would have been very annoyed had it caused a collapse of the farm. Gonna go clean and refill cat food and water, and grab yourself something cool to drink. Don't die while you're away. I will do my best. Okay, the water is still not looking great up there. Ooh, this copper is now fully empty, so we can turn those off. We can unassign you two. And we can start trying to export those. Ah, that's right. We've got that set as aggressively empty. Okay. You'd think I would have learnt from last time about this, but I didn't. So this is directly wired to this, which I suppose isn't the end of the world. Especially since we have kind of thought about it with this priority thing, so the priority is still this way, and then this is any bonus stuff. Except we're not taking advantage of the bonus stuff because this isn't built yet. What do we need over here? Oh. Oh wait, we actually have full research. So, let's take advantage of it. Okay. I probably am going to want to set up additional processing for just iron, because iron... oh. That said... oh, I can't believe I'm saying this, but it may actually just... oh, I didn't realise there was only 2 things that use iron. Alright, let's think about this. So, this would cost 30 iron. This would be 18. So that is 48 iron to make 24 and 24. To make 24, it would cost 24 and 24, so 48. Okay, so the saving you get from mechanical parts being the steel recipe means that if you go for, you can put the rest into steel and it still cost is that right? 30, 40, 48. $24, 24, 48. Yeah. The iron you would save from the mechanical parts change, you can use instead in the construction parts to mean that you don't need as much wood and and concrete. Is it worth doing to save having to feed another factory? I think it is, because once you get past, because there's nothing else that needs iron, so it just simplifies everything if we keep it. Yeah, there's nothing else that needs iron, so yeah. Okay. We're gonna forego going with iron. For some reason I thought there was more iron usage in other things as well, but there clearly isn't. Oh wow, I really didn't need to dig like that now, did I? Let's clear off this corner. At least. And then what we'll do instead is raise it by 1. Yeah, we'll... no. We'll raise it by 1. Then we don't have to dig out as much rock. but we can then flatten it out, and then if there's any additional underneath, we can always dig down one layer. Seems like the smarter thing to do there. Well, that really does creep up, doesn't it? So we may actually be best off creeping up on that side. Because yeah, actually it seems that we need to get to this level again. Realistically. Hello there, Shikaloi! Also, apologies, Harem. I don't think I said hello to you properly. Speaking of recycling plants, it is now full. So I should have turned that on a little bit sooner. My mistake. Ooh, especially when we are basically out of iron. Not exactly ideal. Right, we're having a little bit of trouble. Just with the number of vehicles, I think. Oh wait, hang on. Does it have anything to do with this? Not yet. That hasn't been started. Good. So I think part of it is just how far they're having to travel as well. Well, to be honest, a large part of it. Oh, the coal is actually doing totally fine. I'm not worried about that at all at the moment then. So which one of you is no longer assigned to coal? You. You can come over here. Where you will live out the rest of your days until something collapses or we need the extra digging power. Don't know what we're researching. Captain's office. which we cannot afford to build. Still would like that research efficiency though. Oh, copper's declining because we just don't have the workforce. So that can be a 5. We'll let some other things not work. Yeah, these aren't that expensive to finish. So we're just going to finish them. Where are all the trucks? Okay, we've got 3 of them sat there. Oh, that one is actually full. I was thinking it was empty. It was the other one that was empty. So we can set one of you off. Yeah, building all of this was a waste, really. I only really needed to get it going and then rebuild it later, in reality. So, let's at least take the processing of this over there. And the way we do that is we stick a flat balancer there. Whack an assembly machine here. Let's then stick a belt in there. We're going to set the recipe of that one. Priority that output. That will then no. Don't like that. Stick that like that. Then we can have a dedicated copper thing that they're not allowed to take from. Whereas that one can still be taken from, but it will prioritize outputting it to here first, and then any excess will build up there. Yeah, that works. Because then we can have copper in there. Yeah. Oh, just cut it out of the way for a second. So we need to bring in Ruba. Research complete. Oh. Ooh, we could start thinking about upgrading the captain's office. Expensive, but it does give us access then to the growth water farming boost. Surely the research efficiency as well. And there's another research efficiency as well. Oh. Oh, that's cargo ship. For a second I was thinking that was the main ship reduction. No. I think now that we've got that, we've got recycling. I think what we might need to start doing is heading for the larger vehicles. Because it's, what, 3 times as big? And only twice as maintenance cost? Oh, there's a large sorting plant. Maybe this is what we need. The other option is increased storage space. No, I think we need to go for something a bit more pressing. Because, I mean, copper refinement isn't that pressing. When it gets us a better bit of water cycle, and gives us the acid for the copper refinement to replace the water that would go into copper. But I do get the feeling we will be completely overrun by sulfur. So maybe we just go for glass making. Oh. The only problem with that is that we need acid. Oh, no, sorry. We can do it with salt. But that's going to be expensive. Whereas we can get acid. We're probably better off going sulfur, salt, glass, large vehicles. To be honest. That might be the better way of doing it. Ooh. Ethanol and sulfur. To make the rubber, which means that we then no longer need diesel. Ooh, that is interesting. And a bag of golden Oreos. I don't actually know what that means. Is that a good thing? I imagine it must be. Yeah, Oreos but white. What makes them golden? Alright, we're going to do that. We're going to go sulfur. Ooh. We're going to go water recovery, actually. Because then that'll help us with getting some of the water back. So that creates 36 and gets us 12. Equally, that gets us 24. So that gets us a much, much better return on water. So I'm going to do that, actually. Well, the taste of the cream, zero taste of the black cardboard. Just regular cookie, you can't call it white Oreo, it's racist. Fair enough. Didn't even cross my mind, if I'm completely honest, but yeah, fair enough, I can understand sort of that. Do we go for the captain's office and increase the efficiency first before actually doing this, though? Yeah, go on then, we're going to do that. It's going to be expensive, but hopefully it's going to be worth it. Well, they're saying that for some reason. It's all going here. Okay. Also, I think you were away while I made this decision, but I decided to not bother making just iron on its own for construction parts, because I realised that the savings you make for mechanical parts mean that you actually, as in from when you were, it was iron, means that the difference between the steel and the iron construction parts actually evens out, so it's still 48 iron to make construction parts and mechanical parts, whether you're using iron or steel. If you go for the iron construction parts, yes, you save a little bit of iron. But nothing else uses the iron, so there's no point having a whole setup. Yeah, no, that's what I mean. When you were sorting the cat stuff out, I decided to just go with steel for construction parts because I realised it would be pointless setting up a whole new setup. Just for construction parts from iron, just to save a little bit of iron, I guess. Right, and I was setting up electronics. That can go into a storage. We'll leave a gap just in case we decide to do anything with it. Like add another set of production on this side or something. So that'll then go in there. Then it can come out of there. Flat balancer. And then it can come all the way around here. To that line there. Well, how many tiles is that? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 really. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11? Because of the corner, probably. Because then the vehicles can still get under it, and I don't have to build a ramp. Okay. I need to build a rubber input, which means I'm going to need a rubber storage probably. It's going to be the way this is done. Like so. Whether we have another belt that brings the rubber in later, I don't know, because we may end up remaking the rubber over here or being made from one of these other sulfur options, for example. Right, this urgent. I want that building. Please and thank you. So with that built, that set to rubber, that set to electronics, we will then be in a position to prioritize that output, bring that in, we'll automatically feed. We'll just need the rubber being brought over here. We can then get rid of this section of... We can then get rid of these, because then we can bring the electronics over instead. It really comes to it. And we're going to be rebuilding the construction parts over the other side anyway. Meaning that these are going to be over there, which means we'll be rebuilding this to be able to then get these anyway, which means they'll then rebuild everything else yeah, okay, okie dokie. Right. We are going to pause. No, we're going to build the stuff over here first. I'm not going to jump the gun this time. I'm going to build. And build. 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 Build and build. Build you. Things can be taken from there, that's fine. We're going to end up unassigning that eventually. So we then want that. We're going to want this to be trucks keep full to, I don't know, like 100 or something. Priority 1. For the time being, at the very least. That's then going to want building, 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 and building. We had just enough materials stored up. So once the rubber arrives from over here, that's being replenished anyway. So this is going to keep running occasionally. Right, okay. Right. We done with this yet? No. We still are not done with it. Aha! Okay, with that done, this now becomes a priority 10 instead. This becomes a priority 10, because we just don't need this. We're going to start turning this off. You have 2 inputs. You can get rid of that one. Leaves that one. And get rid of that export route because we want to stop exporting that. No assigned trucks. No assigned trucks. No assigned trucks. Okay. Then what we want to... we don't have a... that's the point. We don't have a storage on this, do we? No, that's fine. I don't know where that 160 rubber is stored, to be honest. There's 35 here. Okay, it's here and there. Okay. Really fine. We're going to be starting to get rubber being brought over here pretty consistently by comparison, which means that our electronics, we can get rid of that. We can stop bringing it over from here. We can do that. We can just output everything. Because that is fine. That's building up. That's built up. Maintenance is still looking healthy. Pickup is still a large use of our stuff. The oil rig is the next. Small excavators, harvesters, blah blah blah. That's fine. That's going to start backing up. And we'll say you can take from there. You cannot export from that. Nor from... I've done this wrong. Crumbs. Knew I'd done this wrong somehow. Because I've got no way of separating out. Let's see if I can finagle this. Oh, of course, there's lifts. Even with the lift. Ooh! Aha! Because then I can do priority out and have another unit storage for use in other things. Build it there. Just so we've still got room around this. Because then we can do that for mechanical parts. Have a secondary non-priority output there. Have to restart the map to fix it. Definitely. I would agree with you there. I mean, I'm going to be honest. I feel like we are actually at a pretty stable point. This iron looks like it's on its way down, and that's good, actually. I'm actually totally okay with it going down because it's only providing the iron for construction parts at the moment, which we are going to be shifting over there at some point for and using steel instead. So this winding down is actually totally okay. And I'm going to let these kind of completely reduce. And if we need a few little bits of iron and construction parts and whatnot, I will fire this on again properly, but I may actually just pause that for a wee bit. Yeah, just to let the iron dwindle. Actually, no. Because we do still want to be making... we do still want to be making the... what's it called? Construction part 3s. We don't need these two, really, doing anything. Although they are, to be fair, finishing off whatever's left here. So that's fine. We do not have any red construction parts, though. And I just realised I'm a bit of a dingus, because... what I can do is save some horrendousness. And go 1, 2, 3, 4. Oop. And it just looks a little better. It doesn't matter so much over here. But over here it just looks a little bit better if it's like that. Bigger gap and all that. We always like a bigger gap. Jesus, how many things can you store? You can store 60. Jeez. Yeah, no, it dawned on me this time. I don't know how. I don't know if I was just being. I mean, obviously, I was being obtuse because I just wasn't seeing it. But it didn't dawn on me that iron is literally only used for these two things, which would mean that I would then have to have a whole iron setup just for construction parts, just to save a little bit of iron. I did realise that, yeah, I was being an idiot, because the savings in the iron moving to steel for the mechanical parts makes up for the difference between the iron and the steel for the construction parts, which means that overall you don't actually lose any extra iron switching to the steel. It's 48 and 48. 48 if you use only iron, 48 if you use only steel for both construction and mechanical parts. I hadn't clocked how stupid I was being. So that's my bad. I just realised if I had the... oh no, they've not been doing anything for a while. We are... that's where all the parts are going into that. Alright, well we don't need this. Trucks keep empty. I'm going to boost that for a little bit. Don't need that on. Reduced water, reduced fuel, reduced maintenance. We don't need to increase farm yields, actually. Got health boost, we've got We're consuming food and we're apparently still plenty ahead. We're actually doing okay there. Right, but we do need construction stuff. See, this is the problem. We catch up far too fast on the recycling for it to be worth keeping it running the whole time. If we had if we had recycling from, for example, from the housing, it'd probably make a lot more sense to keep the thing running. Ooh. There is going to be an ad break in a moment. And when there is an ad break, I'm going to nip to the bathroom. Because I do need a pee. Right, and you don't need electronics anymore. I'm going to disconnect you. Like so. Right, we're going to the bathroom. I'll be back in just a moment. Hello to anyone that can hear me. Which means you don't get ads. I return. From a much needed bathroom break. We're going to continue to clear these out. Right. No, don't import. Get rid of the material. Make it a little easier for these poor trucks. Stop it. I don't want to make more. I want to delete it. Come on, get rid of them. We're also going to get rid of this and this, which means also that random corner piece. Okie dokie. That's fully caught up. See, that's using 12. That's making 12. I would have expected to be... I would actually expect to stay... to be catching up. So why are we not? Unless the only reason we're not is because it was trying to fill them up over here, maybe? It's possible. Okay. The trucks are looking a little less bombarded. Although I think we might still be having a dirt. The dirt's a little full, but it's not outrageous. Yeah. The dirt is fine. Ooh. How are we doing? We're done over here, I think. Yes. That is good. Now filling in this, which is actually less... It's actually less important. We need to be making our way this way, which is a horrible, horrible trek. For the vehicles. I don't know what I can do to make it better, really. We're going to start... Oops, we're going to change it so that we're only receiving up to 20. Deranged! Ermageeter! Hello, Deranged! Welcome in. Thank you very much for the 68 months. Thank you very much. That is a rather long time. How many years is that? Divided by 12. So it'd be... Is it 5 and 8 months? Yeah, 5 and 8 months, because 60 would be 5 years. I can do maths. Me smart, me. That is a long-ass time. God dang it. Thank you for the support for all of this time. Same with you, Shikaloi. For all the time you've been supporting as well. It is very much appreciated. So this is kind of clearing out. We don't need that basic research lab anymore. So we are going to get rid of it because it's pointless it being there. All is fine. Iron we're going to be grinding down to a bare minimum. Just a few, yeah. Not very many at all, right? Now then. Yeah, that's fine actually. Right. Okay, the electronics are building up again. The rock is being dumped over here. Sort of. I guess. Is it even? Ooh. That's done. Okay, so that bit of terraforming is done. Let's start... Let's start digging away so that it doesn't get in the way of the coal mine. Yeah, so that it falls this way instead. "68 months is nearly a year." It's getting close to a year, yeah. Oh, of course. We only have 189 years left. I'd totally forgotten that I need... Ah, this is where some of the rock is going. I need this construction project to be underway as well to get to this oil over here. Because after that... Currently we are struggling with oil. Well, not like throughput of oil, but like struggling for the renewability of it. Which I know ideally means we should be getting our farms up and running a bit better, but we're evidently having some problems with groundwater, which means that it won't be sustainable. Yeah, anyway. Doing okay on the red. Yellow is still a long way off. I think what we need to do next is potentially start working on rebuilding the construction. So if we rebuild the construction, we can get it a bit more automated, we can have a bit of a better throughput, just generally speaking. So we're going to need the wood and the concrete slabs being brought over here. We're also going to need space to actually build this, and at the moment I'm not feeling comfortable about using this space as it stands. Because ideally I'd like to build it out here actually, so we're going to have a little bit of an expansion project again over here. We're instead going to cut that off. I know we need to be working the other way, but I want this filled in so that we can rebuild the construction, this construction stuff over there, which means we'll then also, we could actually rebuild the research stuff over there now, because we are making both of those. Both of these things. Excuse me. $720. It's a bit annoying because I want to rebuild the research as well. I'd want to rebuild the research over here as well, because then all of the, well, currently all of the recyclables is over here. All of the product making is over here. Everything like that, and it's just we don't need to use trucks. You know what, we're going to add another thing to terraforming. I'm sort of learning a thing or two here. No idle diggers. Maps. It's going to ruin the... It's going to ruin the road, but... Is it worth... Yep, screw it. We're going to do this a slightly different way. In that we're going to go through here instead. I'm going to go top down. Yeah, like that. Just to reduce the problems. Do you know what? I'm okay with my research not being the most efficient. I want that water recovery at this point. I think. I mean, the other option is just electric boilers, not using coal at all. I mean, you still have the problem, not using fuel at all, sorry. Is that more efficient? power does it use? 4.5 megawatts. Oof. I don't think that is more efficient, is it? We do have some making their way over here. We'll cut that off for now. I know we're quite desperate to get over there. But I want to get this rebuilt first. Ooh. That is almost full of dirt. Can't really expand it though. Right, here's the deal. We do one more dump it. What? Do one more dumping. Run up to there. And we expand the thing, and that should get rid of the dirt for a while. The iron is almost gone. Yeah, that's good. Well, we're still making construction parts. Ooh, we do need to bring some electronics over though. For the time being. Because we do want to keep on making. Oh, okay. Well, we don't need that boosted at the moment. After all, we don't exactly have the spare electronics anyway. Might be worth giving that a quick boost for a little bit. Just get that backlog caught up. So that's our recycled copper. Boost a little bit of copper through. Ooh, we are actually getting quite close. So I may just wait for the captain's office. Okay. Right. Where are we up to? What's the plan? I did have a plan briefly and I've forgotten it now. We're filling things in. We're still trying to get rid of that. You know what? Get rid of it. Fed up with you being there. This we still kind of need. Still bringing it over. That. Yeah, that's fine. We'll go import 5. Not high priority. I'm not desperate for workers at this point. Especially since I've been moving things over to the other system. Which means this lot will get freed up eventually once these are rebuilt over there. That uses 6 people, that uses 4. So actually, yeah, rebuilding the into assembly 2s is going to be better anyway. Just regardless. Okay. You're all caught up. Maybe how do I change this? Okay, recyclables. I'm going to pin that. I'm going to get rid of the iron pin. Because we just don't really need it. Can I reorder where the construction parts go on this side? Guess not. Rubber is getting a little low. We are burning through it a fair bit. So we're going to be looking at close to 1,000 recyclables in storage before we need to turn this back on. Months. Okay. Where do we stand? Where do we stand? You like to switch the M and N keys on your co-workers' keyboards. Some call you a monster. Others a nomster. Very nice. I approve. Let's get rid of that. That side. And actually just go down this side. Reduce the amount of spillage, potentially. Right, how are we doing down here? We're doing all right. It's at level 13, so we can dig that way a little as well. That's filling in nicely. What's left? Not much. Not much. Right. What do we need to do? We need to get wood over here. Actually, let's think about making the research over here first. So, research is made. And used. How much are we using? Or how much do we use at peak? I don't know how to work that out. Yes, I do. I do know how to work that out. 6 every 60 seconds. Or still 6 every 60 seconds. That's fine. So we know that we use 6 every 60 seconds, which means that for an assembly 1, what are we doing? We know that 1 assembly 2 can sustain 2 labs. But if we want to go quicker, we could upgrade it to an assembly 3 and still sustain, well, and then sustain 4 labs. We would need more mechanical parts, which this can make 24. We would definitely need a second thing making mechanical parts, but that would definitely be doable. We could have a dedicated one for that because of this. Yeah. So 2 rows in. Actually, we're more than 2 rows in. If we're going to have research over here as well, that's going to feed in. So we're going to want the input. So we can get the. Let's give it a. So we could do 1, 2, 3, sorry. 4. And that would be all the research we'd need. That, oh, it's backwards. Try it again. 1, 2, 3, 4. That'd be all the research we would probably need. You know what we'd need to do? Ooh. Feed it in, I don't know. Like so. We're absolutely not gonna build all of these to start off with. This is more planning or later. So you've got a ramp here, which I don't think will need a large ramp, so we can cancel that. However, a small ramp be totally fine. I don't know why it's so close to that edge, but sure. Because that would allow the research to get through. You've got your research to there, to there, to there. I keep over designing these things. Just can't help myself. Put an assembly, no. Put a storage. Because the maintenance isn't going to need to go anywhere else, let's be honest. Can I fit a research storage over this side actually? No. If the ramp wasn't there... Oh, if it was one over, in other words, if that belt wasn't there, it'd be doable. However... Oh, I just realised what you put arranged as well. You put lol mice. Play into the M and the N's being swapped. That took me far too long to notice. Well played. Well played. So, what we can do is we can stick that there. Run the belt through. It does kind of nullify the other bit, but it doesn't really matter. What else is going to be on that side? Actually, to be fair, that's not even needed. It just isn't. So let's do that. Because they can get in this side, and ideally everything at this end is going to be automated anyway. Obviously once it's all built, but what does research need? Research needs two things feeding in. Don't particularly care necessarily about balancing, but I've learnt to leave a gap of 2 for it. For that. I don't really care about it on this side, but let's not be silly buggers. Let's learn from the past, shall we? Let's show we are capable of growth. we'll go with an assembly 2. That still gives room for it to come out and go in. We'll bop it to there. No, I don't like that. Don't like the way that looks. Much rather that. Going to... No. Stop. Stop, Waz. Think, because you're going to need to upgrade it into Lab Equipment 3 and then Lab Equipment 2, sorry. Upgrade it into Lab Equipment 2 and then Lab Equipment 2 into Lab Equipment 3. Oh. Stop what you're doing. You fool. I mean, I'm pretty sure we're a long way off Lab Equipment 2 or 3, whatever. Think, where's Think? We're actually not that far off, so I definitely want to stop what I'm doing there. Ooh, I think we're done with the yellow on this. Yeah, we're now up to we're just making the red. I do need to leave space. So you will need 3 inputs. Eventually. Think. We can do 2 inputs for now. We can technically then actually just change this one to make the other one, feed it in there, and as long as we leave room to have our 3 inputs, so for example have and have it so that we've got research, paper, glass, and still then have an assembly back here. That we can feed in, which can then feed around. Like so, and then we can still bring in, we can just upgrade what's being made or how it's being made, because that goes to that, which then goes to that. And then that one only needs 2 inputs, actually. And then by the time we're at Lab Equipment 4, to be honest, by the time we're at Lab Equipment 3, we'll probably have rebuilt it anyway. But this does give us the option to expand. Because then that's got 3 inputs potentially to go to the Lab Equipment 2, and then we can always reduce it to that and keep one of them and then feed it back in. Yeah, we can do that. That's fine. So for now, I'm gonna strip this back to just being that. I'm gonna keep that as a rough reminder, but we're gonna effectively just use this. Transports flat lift. 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't care particularly about a buffer for the research. You're going to come from over there, so we do want to do that. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we're going to want that. And I kind of prefer it doing that, to be honest. And then that means we are going to have to make this, but we are going to plan, at least, for a balancer to feed out of it. Brain catch up. So we're going to go like that. We can feed that in there. Flat lift. 1, 2, 3, 4. Flat lifts are expensive, but I quite like them. 1, 2, 3, 4. Not sure why it's that way around, but whatever. Do that to there. I'm okay with how that looks. I'm okay with how that looks. So that will allow us to rebuild the research, because then that's not a priority. It's overflow if this fills up. We can then be using it on this, but this still has a backup. This is priority out. No, that's not right. It's not okay. Because that doesn't have a priority. No, that is not allowed. So we're going to pause. Think about this. We're going to move it 1 forward. Hello, Clister Clades. How's it going? What are you doing? You have bad news. The entrance to this point of interest seems to be underwater. Oh dear. Not ideal. Maybe work up to it. I'm just going to ban and report this bot. Scam bot. I get one every stream without fail. Where's the block button? Block. Cool. So that has done its thing. So I need to pause really quickly because I'd like to shift it forwards. No, 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 no. So I'm gonna shift. Oi. What? Oh. Shift that forwards. So then that gives us the room to work with. Because I can do you. I can do that. I can do that. I can do that. And then I can do that. And then priority out. No. Still not right. Got to do this quick though. Something not quite right. Oh. I need to move that forwards. Ugh. That brings it out of line. Bring that forward. Ugh. How you doing, Clist, by the way? Screw it. Let's fix it. It's bugging me. In all honesty, so I want to fix this properly. Ugh. Blah, blah. Fine. It's only 12, but it puts my mind at ease because I'm apparently really OCD about some of these things. I can handle a gap like that. What we then need to do is that. Bring that out like that. Bring that in. Better off having that extra steel on this side. And then using that as an out. And then, yeah, I can then set up extra furnaces and whatnot on this side. Yeah, it kind of leaves it all a bit tight, doesn't it? But I can at least do that, do that. Split it. Sorry, balance it. Balance it. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2. Oh, I actually quite like that by comparison to the way it was before. Put that in that gap. because that then means that the priority can be to maintenance. Excess will go here. We don't care about that one. Don't import. Can export. It'll then come out. It'll be balanced when it comes out, and then it'll go off to do other stuff. I think. I'm not sure it's you. Oh, yeah, it's just not built. Is that right? Before I build it, is that right? I think so. Think so. So you've got your out. We can then always add a storage over this side with a factory making more, which can feed in, which can feed both. We can still prioritize this one, but it'll just fill that one up a bit quicker, which will then allow them to fill this one a bit quicker. So that still works. Let's go ahead and kind of test that a little bit. So that'll be, oh, I don't like doing it that way. Oh, that's already built. So we'll do that to there. That'll be the excess. Not priority out, sorry. Then we will need one of these. We only really need one, don't we? Now that I think about it. What else is steel used for? Quite a lot actually. We can still have it like this and then have it prioritize going to this stuff, because we can still get a flat thingy in there like so, and that still allows excess. What else do we need mechanical parts for? Just maintenance and research. Oh, and vehicle parts, but we can siphon mechanical parts off. This is fine. Yes, because we can still get the excess steel out of here to be used elsewhere as a secondary thing. For example, for like household goods, household appliances, rail parts. That might be a way off yet, but various bits and pieces. We can still get the steel out of there if we so desire. Turtles assemble to unbalance everything. Oh god. It's all a mess, if I'm honest. I keep building things like this in the sense of I keep building them far too close together so that I never have space to do anything. Priority out. Yeah, that's fine. I think we're good to go with that. So I need to rebuild here, 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 and here for things to continue to work. You need to be turned on. We need you to catch back up again, which you should do pretty easily, to be fair. Excess, we can just go to here straight away. We don't need this just yet because we are still getting excess from it. Right, yeah, that's fine. How are you doing? You're 188. Ooh, come on, we're so close. We're really close. Warm in winter. I think we start getting some more rainwater harvesters built. I just want to be using... Oh. It's not even connected. I do kind of want to be prioritizing the rainwater harvesters for production of water. That can be unpaused. We are getting kind of close. Not gonna lie, that almost looks like a solar farm over there with the blue tarps on top. Yeah, it's a water farm, unfortunately. Sadly, it's not that exciting. But we can... Ooh. Now then, we are going to be upgrading to the version 2 fairly soon, so what it might actually be worth doing is we are going to be pointing it into here at some point anyway, so we may as well just do that straight off the bat. Maybe? That might not be a bad idea. Cut those, bring it down. One. Get rid of that. Get rid. Get rid of all of that. And that, then... Because we're going to be skipping a step here for a bit, we can do that. We want to do... Four. Lift. Or we're going to go with this one. Ooh, we can go that side, can't we? I think this one to that one, because it actually fits surprisingly nicely. And then to get to there... Oh, we can just go straight over the top. Go. No, don't try to connect, please. Oi. F. No, apparently not. R. That connects like that. That means that we are ready to just sort of plink it into there instead, which means we don't actually need to move those three up, because I forgot... Oh. Ugh. I don't know what happened to the floating bit. Oh, crying out loud. Alright, we got this. are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Might block it there, but whatever. That's as far as that'll go, and then boop. Still can get in there, so that's fine. Technically, because then what we can do is we can just swap that to there and then plumb it in. So that will then eventually go into there, that will eventually go into there, and that will eventually go into there. Then we'll have, what, paper and glass, I think it is, for the other two. And then the research one already going into there. We can transfer this research one into here. Yeah, we're going to do that. We are going to do that. Right, maintenance is catching back up. How's the captain's office doing? Still 188. Why? Still waiting on yellow. We did just use a bunch of yellow, to be fair. Let's see if we can kickstart the last little jump start. Not jump start. We can do the last bits. Let's see if we can do that. For that captain's office. Uh, 12. Might be all right. Still haven't really done much. Oh no, it's because we're filling in over here, isn't it? But that will at least give us room to do the research as well. So this feels like a bit more of a permanent setup, long-term permanent as well. So we may actually go ahead and demolish these. I can pretty much guarantee I don't need this anymore. I'm slightly holding off until that is done. Truth be told. So I want this done. We don't... Because with that... Actually, with that done, it doesn't make it much of a difference, does it? Except that I'm going to use a boatload of yellow now. Happy to commit to this. Not enough. $120. Okie dokie. It's a good thing we didn't start moving it. En masse. Starts accidentally siphoning from maintenance. No, that's what this priority thing is all about. It prioritizes out to maintenance, so no matter what happens, it'll go to maintenance first. And maintenance has its own separate buffer outside of the additional buffer here. Same with this one. That's what this whole redesign was about, was to get this primary maintenance buffer, then with overflow buffer to be provided by other stuff, essentially. Hey, There's the captain. Oh, it's facing the wrong way. Didn't realise that. Did not realise that at all. Okay. Can we do now? Do that. Reduce the water consumed. That's about it. What we really want is that research, which we can technically start making use of, to be honest. We're going to pause the recycling though. We don't need it running just yet. Just at the moment, rather. We are going to do a little bit more recycling. Not recycling, research. And I think we're going to go for the really expensive water recovery. That will make our water life so much easier. Oh. Research efficiency, go! Oh, I forgot to turn that on. So that means we get 7.7, which isn't bad. Oh, we don't need you turned on just yet. You, we do. Same with you, actually. Oh, but you're a 5 already. That's good. You're a 1. Yeah, that should all be fine. Right. What is next? Realistically. Because this is effectively done. Which means this no longer needs to be kept full. We can start emptying that. Because while we're not technically there yet, we don't need to do the research. And if it really, really came to it, we could just manually do it from here. Yeah. See, now that starts pairing. It's going to take us a little while. How's the iron looking? Not great. Coal is okay, because once we've done with that, we can just start going for this. We're using a lot less coal these days. And we could, I reckon, actually just be making the coal. If we had the vehicles for it. So you can... yeah, you can accept only from there, actually. Tree saplings, I want doing your job. Wait, 2 export routes. You've got one to here and one to there. Oh, right, okay, that's for construction stuff. That's fine. Yeah, we don't need this anymore. So we can start to clean that up. Don't need you connected. Anymore. Oh, I missed a bit. Get rid of that so that it doesn't try and build when I'm trying to demolish. Get rid of that, get rid of that. Get rid of that. And that will naturally empty. Oh, beat me to it. Okay. Even more of this is now removed. We are getting to the point where we're I'm starting to think about moving the construction stuff over here now. It's getting mighty close to that time. Construction parts, then construction parts. Oh, we need steel again. Okay. Okay. I reckon that can make 24 in assembly 3. I reckon we go for assembly 3s and across the board and try and just have it like that so that we're making 6 every minute, which isn't the fastest, but certainly could be worse. It's certainly not slower than what we're doing at the minute. At any rate, excuse me. I mean, look at that, we're barely making any. 177 years. But to do this, we do need space. Oh, we are out of unity. Well, with that in mind, we're going to stop researching for a little bit. Ah, that's probably because we bumped that up quite a bit. Yep, that'll do it. Oh, we are still dumping over here though. So you mind control tower need to be made a little wider. Up here. We'll do it to this point. So mind control tower, edit the area. stick a thing there. Stick one there. Band that out. Expanded out one because I don't want to accidentally cut off our route down. Okay, that's flat. That means we can get rid of dirt. Okay, cool. Progress. Because I think the dirt's starting to back up a little. We're doing that one's basically empty, so we can empty that, deconstruct it. Should be quick to remove it because I can't be bothered waiting. Boosh. Ugh, same with that. That's another thing removed. We don't need an... Oh, we do need electronics to come in though. Over there. But there just isn't any spare. Because it's still catching up. Let's boost you a little bit. Very tempted to start deconstructing this, to be honest. Yep. It's time. The other bit is up and running. We don't need this anymore. Gone is that part of the island's history. It's not going to be long before the iron goes too. Oh, no wood. Plenty of wood. I think this needs to move, like, down here somewhere. Possibly even just over here, actually. So that it can just then feed directly in with a priority. That might be the way we do this now. Now that we're doing a little better with the wood, we can move it over. Ooh. Let's do that. Let's do that indeed. And then after that we can do that. Cool. Okay, we now have electronics available. Oh, there is some brought over, that's good. Which means we can continue to make that. Now then, I'm going to have to redesign that area down there so that we make wood and concrete slabs available. Oh, already out of dirt dumping space. Grow more trees. Now that we've widened it a bit. Okay, that still didn't give us allow us to get rid of much dirt. You'll now go to bed. Have fun spiraling into control. I know, it's weird, isn't it? Good night, though, Shikaloi. Thank you for being around. And I hope you sleep well. Okay. We've got not enough unity, but we do have the materials. Whoa, where did we get 1,000 construction? Is it all just in... Oh my god. It's from all of that copper, isn't copper processing stuff. Let's just pick this apart. Using Unity. Save the trucks a little bit of effort. My word. That's quite nice. Then we need to remove all of this pipe to there. $101. That's freed up actually quite a lot of construction parts. It is starting to feel a little nicer as a like as far as the situation goes. Get rid of some more of this coastal stuff. I do want to be building in here. Ooh, we've got a full... almost full sorting plant. Ah, we have the Unity. Okay. We want to pause that. We want to set that at a 6. And I suppose we want to pause, and pause, so that if they do get built, we don't accidentally start doing research. I'm going to pause that. Let them do whatever the research they've got remaining once we have a bit more Unity available. That was maybe not the wisest thing to build the research thing. As it happens. Let's at least boost the yellow. Alright, let's start designing at least start designing the thing over here. So we're gonna have it kind of here-ish. Because this is gonna be research. We're gonna need 3 storages. Because we're going to want a backlog of steel if we can get ahead. Oh, that jumped. I'll design it here a little bit. I know I'll need to move it, so I'll not be too precious. So that one can be for steel. Then we'll need one for wood, one for concrete slabs. You're incredibly happy to be able to save humanity with your incredibly effective boat that only consumes 424 litres of diesel per kilometre. Good God. That is a lot of diesel. Right, we only need... Let's think about this. We only need one... assembly machine. It's twice as fast. It costs so much more. Plus, I don't know if we'll be able to sustain it running at full pelt anyway. From a steel point of view. Well, we might be able to. It's amazing how efficient vehicles are in the future. Yes. Yes, it is. Okay, so here's going to be the judge. To get to that, it's still going to cost us 80 red, but it'll effectively cost us, what, 12 yellow as well. We've got the red almost to make 1. I actually don't know whether you're on about the what's it game, the one you're playing at the minute, or this Captain of Industry. I actually don't know. So we're going to go steel to make it. I'm going to be quite brutal about it. That will make construction 1. Do we need any of these to make anything else? Just rail parts, but that's fine. We can deal with that separately. Wood, a couple of other things. Again, we can deal with it separately. Steel, various things, but that doesn't matter as far as construction parts goes. Construction parts is used for everything, and just the next tier of construction parts. So that's fine. We can deal with that. Not a problem. Electronics are used in a few things. Yeah, cool. So as long as we've got a way in for the next tier of stuff, that's fine. We don't need to worry about balancing. I'm honestly of the opinion that I don't really care if I need to, yeah, I just don't have the throughput really to be able to do anything faster. I'm not so much about speed with this, but I'm still going to make the smart-ish choice to leave a gap of 2 so that we can fit a balancer in there if we want to. In here, we can use lifts and stuff to get things where we need them if we want to. The other option is what I actually do is build this off to the side and just block the steel, because we can bring it in separately again. And then just go boop. Well, actually that does work, because we can still get it out of this building, because we can take it to the side. Yeah, we can take it to the side, so it's fine. So that actually works a little better. Putting a gap of 2 means we can do whatever we want with it, realistically. Not that we need to do much more. I could actually get a little better with this as well. Oh no, it wouldn't matter. I'd still have trouble with the belts and whatnot, no matter whether I did it this way or the other way, thinking about it. So I'll stick that back there. This way is probably a little easier, actually. So we've got the gap of 2. That's going to make the first tier construction parts. Then the second tier is going to need that stuff. Can get these next to each other, that's not a problem. You're going to need electronics. I'm okay with taking up a bit more space now that we are doing a little better with various things. I think I'm still going to leave a space of 3 here. Because again, it gives us space to work with if we need to. So that will then be that. And then finally, oh well, there's the steel we need. We can just siphon off. We can just split that steel that would go into here. We can split that off to go over here as well. But we need our unit storage. Again, we're going to go with little one of those. Then an assembly where we're gonna a gap of 2. Let's be consistent. A gap of 3. We could flat lift that up here. Does that actually work? It does. I think I want it to come back on itself a little bit. And then this way. Till we get to here, where we then do that, turn that back on. Alright, that isn't going to work quite that way then. We can actually go over this. Although they're a little bit too long to go over, so we'll just do that with it. I think that's fine, to be honest. Oh, I don't like it. I hate that my brain does that, because that will then leave one little one, and I don't like the way it does that. Then that goes that way, to there. Cool. And then that gets us red. And it's then expandable to the next type by just building this way. Surprisingly okay with that. So I'm going to slightly tweak where we're dumping and limit it a little bit, because we don't need all of it. So then flat construction parts 2. Yep. Cool. You will be no input, no export. Sorry, import, export. No export, no export, no export. Can import. You can import, export, can import, export. And then one final storage. Curses. And then we can stick that probably around there or something. Yeah, we'll stick it roughly there. We actually need to go there. Ooh. Coal seems to have stopped. Why does coal? Because we're full of rock. We're full of rock everywhere. Let me guess, you're coming up here to deposit there. I know I said I want that to happen, but I actually have a different set of priorities right now. So, can I get you... Can I interest you in going elsewhere to deposit your dirt? Rock. And then we're going to edit the area. Get rid of that. Set that to be there. I think it's fine to... Probably have it like that. Have the mine control. Dumping designation. Oh, what? I don't understand why it would do that. If it's already flat and it's flat, why are you trying to do a slope? Silly thing. Irrelevant. Put more bits of designation. Edit the area. Cool. Hello there, Mamoru. How's it going? Hope it's going well. Oh, we don't need this running at the moment. Ooh. I thought that was ready. I just couldn't see it properly. I think I need to get some more trucks on dumping. And I would love to turn those back on, but it feels like a bad idea. Ooh, we're up to 160. Excellent. I'm not having you waiting like that. When there's rock to dump. Unassigned to blah blah blah. Buildings unassigned. Blah, 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 blah. Buildings. So. That's fine. Right, we have a wee bit of that, so we can clear out a bit of research from here. Don't want that to be kept full anymore. Coal is about to run out, though. In a very bad way. Just got back from work. Things were busy the past few weeks. Yeah, fair enough. Why are you so full? Maybe you need a second. Total reduction. We're only just behind consumption. Maybe 3 will help. I do need to move, I think, this coal processing elsewhere. Because that probably won't be helping with the anything. With anything, really. So let's actually do that. U-shaped balancer. We can stick that there. Stick it there. We would have coal maker 6. So yeah, we can just have one for that. So we would have what? 1. How much does it use? 18. I don't know how much. How we work out how much we're making. So I'd maybe go for 3 of these, though. U-shaped conveyor. have a... Where is it? Waste. Smokestack. Just something like that. It's expandable. Unit storage. Doesn't have to be pretty. And again, it would be expandable. Then we could set that as a priority of being delivered to. And it wouldn't be as far for this one to come. And it would mean that there wouldn't be trucks trailing both directions. It would be automatic. We could then prioritize that. Out of there into that. That to that one. Yeah, we'll do that, actually. Pause. Because you're out of input, you're out of input. Don't need you to be efficient anymore. We want to delete that. We want to delete that and that and that. We're going to finally delete that and that and that and that and that. And that. And we're just going to let it do its thing. So, what is happening? We've got 4 edicts, that's fine. We kind of know about that. The oil rig is also fine. Boost. What are we boosting? Can I see what we're boosting? In assembly 1. Where? Is it over here? Oh, it's over here. Alright, let's stop that boost. Ooh, we have 200 red construction parts available. Unit storage. Which gap have I left? I've left 2 in the others, so we'll leave 2 here. I don't think we'll need the 2, but still. So this, I'm going to stick. I think I'm going to stick it maybe there or something. So we can be even more focused in where we're dumping resources. I don't think there's any other dumping spots. Hang on, what did I just do there? Oh, I cleared it. That's fine. We are going to add another layer this way, though. And we're going to set mining this. Finally, just clear it out. And then yes, we are gonna just keep digging that way. Gradually make our way over so that the what's it called the coal mine doesn't get filled in too much. We can try and preempt some of it. Hello there. I don't know how to pronounce your name. I'm sorry. But if you press the shift when deleting, the entire line of transporters to the connection will be highlighted. Ooh. Did not know that. Where can I test this? I can test this in my old. Ooh, that is... Oh, that makes much more sense now. I was wondering, why do I have to do this whole thing manually every time? What should I call you? Also, welcome to the chat. Welcome to the channel. That's going to take a while to empty, isn't it? Yeah, that's fine though. A lot of dumping to do. Coal is not looking happy, I have to say. So we've got that built. Let's unpause the lot. Vlad, is that? Welcome, Vlad. Sorry, I'm not great with interpreting names, so I tend to prefer to ask rather than completely butchering a name. Construction's going to dry up a little. While we catch up on a bit of coal, I reckon we actually stop digging there for a little bit. By shifting control, you can delete the entire segment for Unity. Wow, did not know that. Do you know what? I should have noticed that, because I've just never seen these three things. Ah, your nickname is only readable in Russian. Fair enough. Fair dues, fair dues. Yeah, I've just never noticed these three things, which, yeah, it should tell me that it just removes it for Unity. Oops. That would have probably saved me a lot of effort before. That's going to build. That I want built. That I want built. That I want built. Just so you know, we are playing on with the settings at everything being the worst it can possibly be. Because apparently I hate myself. Just so you've got some context when we go into spirals of failure. So that needs to happen. That needs to happen. That needs to happen. And then priority out, priority in. Yeah. We're going to go no manual input, no manual input. Can't take it. Can't take it, and you can't take it or put it in. This is going to be a keep full with import routes assigned from you and I've been considering moving this one, but I guess for now I'll do that. I'm not going to accept assigned only. We're going to get rid of the import route for that one now. We are also going to pause these. I can do this. Pause. I'm going to pause those. Because I don't want that. I don't want that anymore. I do want one assigned permanently to both of these. You've got 3. My word, okay. Building transporters, pay attention to the keyboard shortcuts in the same place. Ah, yes, those ones I've used. For some reason it just didn't occur to me about deleting. Yeah, I do use those ones. I'm currently in the process of rebuilding everything. It's been a long process. And I'm trying to get to the point where I can rebuild my construction parts production. I just want to make sure I've got space properly. Got space to do it. Because everything was kind of crammed over here before. But it is starting to be deconstructed. I'm weaning myself off the iron construction parts in favor of steel construction parts, and I'm trying to make more and more use of trees and... where has it gone? Trees and whatnot for coal, and I've got to build this wrong. What I should have done is put another storage so that we could have had a build. Oh, whatever. Are we thinking about expanding my production lines in the future? Sort of. It's kind of... So I'll just show you the problem. I have everything set to the worst possible thing it can be set to. Absolutely everything set to the worst possible. And I don't know what I'm doing. I'm at a point in the game, and I have been since the start, basically, because I've not done a full run through ever. So I've been balancing on a knife edge for ages, and I've just noticed that my rubber is running a little low, but everything is on the worst it can possibly be. So it's been a case of I'm only just scraping by. because deposits are 75% reduced, world mines are 80% reduced. I get a lot less per scoop. Before it was cramped over there, now it's cramped over here. Yep. Everything costs a lot to build and all of that. Yeah. I mean, I feel like I flick between max speed and not max speed. So just for reference, this crude oil is the only crude oil we actually have access to at the moment. 168 years of crude oil, because in order to get to this one, I need to build a bloody big land bridge, which is going to take a long time, but I have other things I need to do first. Like getting my construction stuff rebuilt. My iron is starting to run a little concerningly low, so I need to get over to this iron. I know there's iron on top of this hill, but getting up there is even more of a challenge. I finally uncovered this other coal. That took me a long time, and that is ready to kind of go with that one. Once this one really kicks the bucket. Before that goes any further, we're going to do that to 10, and then we're going to do that up a step or two. Right, I need to look at rubber before it has a problem. It's just diesel. Which I don't understand why it's not being taken over there. Oh, I can't do that one. Okay. I didn't even remember that was there. I don't want that to accept assigned only, though. I think briefly I need to assign a truck. Just so we can get a bit of diesel over there. Get some of this rubber being made again. And these trucks to refuel, which means they're refueling vehicles. Oh, do you mean the ones from here? Yeah. Oops. Oh, 2 individual mine towers. Oh, I didn't know that. Wait, hang on, what? Why would you do that? Right, fine. Let's get rid of the giant, pointless thing that it can't even reach. Just so they stop having a wobbler. Right, I think I need to be working on this again. Among other things. Dump into... do want to be continuing to expand this area because this is where the main processing of the base is going to end up being. But I do want to work on these other projects as well, is the problem. Let's see if I can do what I want to do with this. That does fit in there. You were saying about expanding production lines. The main problem I have is just I don't have the initial, like the starting throughput really, to keep things running at max speed. That's kind of where the main problem lies, unfortunately. Don't get me wrong, I'd like to be able to get them doing things a bit better, but at the moment it's unlikely. And I've left a little bit of a gap for bits and pieces so they can be built. Things can be done a little differently. Things can be changed in the future without too much hassle, because there's at least space for a balancer in and out, both sides. Don't think I'll need to double these up at all anytime soon. I certainly don't have the input to be able to keep them running as it is. So, with that said, that is now actually ready to be... no, we'll wait for that bit to finish, just so there's no fiddling around here that might cause an issue. What we'll do though is we will enable that. Is this a bad idea? Is building this a bad idea? We can bring the steel from here. The electronics can be split off from here. Again, steel, and then wood and concrete slab comes from elsewhere. No, that's not steel, that's construction part 3. Comes from elsewhere, and then we can just expand this way when we're ready to make construction 4, which is going to be a long way off. I think this is okay, which then means we can change how this processes a bit. Makes it a little bit more better. I think we're good to go. Does mean I need to build this for siphoning, well, this at least, to siphon off spare steel. Yep. Get that built. Get that built. Oh, I was in the middle of building the research, wasn't I? I want the construction done first. Have I tried using Stacker? No, I haven't. I didn't really fully understand how effective it would be. Because like it'd make it a stack, right? But I want it flat, is the thing. suppose I can always flatten it off afterwards, can't I? I suppose I could always flatten it off. I actually don't want that built there. I would prefer to have it out here because it gives us additional connections. Connection options, rather. So, flat lift 1, 2, 3, 4. Then we need a flat lift this way. 1, 2, 3, 4. Flat conveyor. It's going to want to connect all the way over there. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Feels just nasty somehow. So we want to go to there. Can it not duck under? It can't duck under. There's not enough room for it to duck under. Oh, actually, I don't need to duck under necessarily, do I? We go that way around. And then that keeps it out of the way a bit. Fill up the mountain without the help of cars, then you drive an excavator there and it levels the slide to the plane. Yeah. That would make it easier, wouldn't it? It would certainly reduce the load on the vehicles. Problem is, like, I'm wanting to... I've got a whole thing up here that I'm building a road across so that it doesn't get interrupted by the mining of the coal there. So a stacker, I don't know how effective it would be because I'd have to move it every so often. And that's the next big project now. Now that this can be built, and is being built, that is the next big project. So I'm going to need to be moving the concrete stuff of it here as well at some point. So this pointlessly built concrete build, pointlessly complicated concrete build as well, we'll need to move over. It might be worth backing it. I mean, it's not expensive, but it's all the belts to get the stuff here, I guess. I think what I'll do is, because I have specific projects in mind for the waste at this point, I'll let it finish filling this in with trucks. I then want it to because I then want it to do this stuff. I'll let that happen, but then I will go for the stacker We're expanding out, I think. So I won't build them just yet, but I will build them eventually. I suppose it doesn't need to be imported right now. It dawns on me that I actually want to work on this project. Which is going to be an absolute monster to try and complete. It's so far away from everything. I mean, is it worth just sticking a mining tower out here and just digging away at the mountain? And just purely to fill this in so they don't have to go quite as far? Maybe. Genuinely, that may be the better way of doing it. Gonna speed some bits along. So the red is fine. The red is going to make. Ooh, I've just seen the time. Time says that it's probably bedtime for me. So I may just get this built quickly. I don't want this to continue working. No more deliverables. Because we're moving over here. We don't need any more red. Which means we also... Yeah, I'm going to let the white and yellow keep going for now. Just in case I've miscalculated and I've tried to move things too soon. 42. Still, it's worth it. Okay, there goes that. That into there, into there, into there. Right. We don't have... Oh, we don't have the Unity. You can use stackers in parallel with cars to make mounts faster. True. I think I'm a little hesitant to use them at the moment because all of my infrastructure is on the verge of changing. So I don't want to be building and then demolishing belts because as cheap as they technically are, they're also really a bit expensive for me, because I don't get the full amount back. When I demolish them. Okay, I think... Oh, I almost forgot this. One, two, three, four. We're gonna do flat flip. 1, 2, 3, 4. Connect that. There, I want to... No, I want to do... I want it to run this way. Not quite. Ah, that's the one I wanted. Poop. Not quite the way I wanted it. It's close. Oh no, what have I done? There we go. Well, I like it neatly nestled. Okay, that one's for research, so that's fine. Let's get that built. Right, we do still need yellow belt, as I feared we would. So no input. That one's still input. That one input. No and no. Yes to both. Yes to both, and yes to both. All the middle belts are made. We just need to put these higher belts up and running. This, we no longer need to do that. That might as well make what it can. You can be paused. We're almost at the point where we can totally remove that now. Almost. Do temporarily need that to be an import, which is a bit unfortunate, but it is the way it is. And we do still need yellow construction pieces. So we can pause that one while this one gets made. Didn't realise that one was still on. That does not need to be still on. Still waiting on that, are we? That's been there for ages. It is, however, now gone. Ah. Ore mining is complete. Let's dig that out. Right, we can unpause you. There's a lot of flitting around right now. Pause you. Pause you. You can remain. You can be paused. In fact, you can just be demolished. You can be demolished. You can be demolished. You can be demolished. Couple of easy bits. Construction parts, that's actually freed up a few bits and pieces as well. For you, we just have the Unity. Where's all of our Unity? Or edicts still going. Water, maintenance, blah blah blah, food consumption. Don't want to let the health drop. How is the health doing? Vehicle disease. Oh, we've got a cold at the minute. Once the cold goes, we can try going without the extra vitality for a little bit. Okay. Nope, wrong one. That one. That. Thank you for that little shortcut on the shift. That can go. That can go. We aren't going to need that bit over there anymore. Literally just missing some Unity to be able to do this. Give me that. It's an urgent priority, please. Oh, I'm just going to do it. And we're going to unpause you. Okie dokie. So we're not getting much spare steel through at the minute, which is why we've got this balancer and whatnot. We want to maintain at least 160 tier 1, 160 tier 2. Just for emergency build type things. We don't want it all ending up as tier 3. Okay, but other than the fact that we don't have much steel throughput, I'd say we're in a pretty good position. Also, Will this help? Or will it cause more problems? This, I realise now, was a bad idea. Should have put a balancer in. Yeah, there's always something, isn't there? Somehow I didn't think of a balancer for these outputs, but whatever. This will eventually get to the point where this is full of steel, this then fills up with steel, and then this then backlogs. Because this only uses 6 every 60 seconds, and this uses more, this will probably eat through most of it anyway, so it'll be fine. Oh boy. Do that. And do that. And then I would say we've actually made quite a bit of progress today. That's starting to back up finally. Yeah, we're going to have a problem of not enough iron input. This is the problem with... this is what I mean when I say I can't really expand, because we just don't have the iron to back it up. We certainly don't have the people. Can, however, unpause that now. I guess there's a little bit of scrap iron. Pause that again. Right, that's it. We're going to stop there. If you're new on YouTube but you are enjoying it, consider leaving a subscribe on YouTube. If you're watching on Twitch, consider leaving a follow if you've enjoyed it. I stream Captain of Industry every Monday unless something comes up, like holiday or something. But that's all provided and that's all mentioned in advance on the Discord. I'll be streaming again tomorrow evening, where I'll be streaming some Escape from Dukov. And